Hey warrior, there's a war going on, one that nobody else can see. Not the kind with guns or swords, but the kind that rages inside your chest. The kind where your heart races when someone disrespects you, where your thoughts spiral when someone ignores your message, where a single word can ruin your whole day. And yet on the outside you smile, you nod, you say, I'm fine. But deep inside you're drowning. This is the emotional battle almost everyone is silently fighting. And the truth is, most people lose. They react. They explode. They break down, not because they're weak, but because they were never taught how to stay calm when chaos hits. You've probably seen those people. The ones who walk into a storm without flinching, who keep their emotions in check even when others lose control. They're not heartless. They're not numb. They're just untouchable. And no, they weren't born like that. They trained for it. And that's what this video is about. You're going to learn 9 Stoic habits that can give you unshakable emotional control. Not fake strength, not pretending, but real deep internal power. The kind that doesn't need validation, revenge, or attention. And to start, understand this. We suffer more in imagination than in reality. That's what Seneca said, and he was right. We overthink. We overreact. Rehearse pain in our minds before it even arrives. So to become emotionally untouchable, we have to stop giving our imagination the power to rule us. Because here's the reality. You don't have to feel everything people throw at you. You don't have to respond to every insult. You don't have to carry every emotion just because it knocks on your door. What you do need is discipline. Not the kind that makes you a robot, but the kind that sets you free. Stoicism doesn't kill your emotions. It teaches you not to be a slave to them. It helps you live above the noise. It gives you that rare sacred power to be in a room full of madness and still choose peace. It shows you how to walk away without guilt, to say nothing and still win. And most importantly, it teaches you how to win the battle no one sees. You're not broken for feeling too much, but you'll stay stuck if you never learn to feel less when you need to. And that's what we'll break down. These 9 Stoic habits won't turn you into someone else. They'll reveal the version of you that's been buried under emotion, confusion, and pressure. So if you've ever said, I just can't let things go, why do we get so emotional? I wish I could stay calm like other people. Then this video is for you. Watch every second. Don't skip. Like this video if it already speaks to you. Comment your thoughts throughout. And if you're ready to become the most powerful version of yourself, subscribe to the channel right now and share this with someone who needs it too. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I control my emotions. They don't control me. Let's begin. Number 1. Respond like it's not personal even when it is. Someone insults you. Someone lies to you. Someone disrespects you to your face and your chest tightens. The natural instinct, defend yourself, fight back, correct them. But here's what Stoicism teaches. If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it. Marcus Aurelius. What does that mean? It means what hurts you isn't always the thing that happened, but the way you took it. Most people take everything personally because their identity is fragile. If someone disagrees with them, they feel attacked. If someone doesn't like them, they feel rejected. If someone criticizes their work, they feel worthless. But the Stoic habit here is this. Detach your ego from the moment, not because it's easy, but because it's necessary for peace. When someone lashes out, it's more about them than you. They're showing you their chaos, not your worth. So instead of reacting emotionally, step back, pause, look at the situation like an outsider. Ask yourself, is this really about me? What if they're just projecting their own pain? Will this still matter in 24 hours? That space between the insult and your response, that's where freedom lives. Because once you stop taking things personally, you unlock a new level of emotional power. You become the kind of person who listens calmly, speaks slowly, and doesn't react just to react. You don't shrink. You don't explode. You just observe and then decide how to respond with strength, not emotion. And yes, it's hard at first, but the more you practice, the more powerful you become. You're not avoiding conflict, you're mastering the self. And here's something even deeper. When you stop making everything about you, you actually gain control over you. That's the Stoic paradox. So next time someone tries to pull you into a drama, into a fight, into an emotional mess, act like it's not personal, even if it feels personal. Kill emotional speed. Number 2. Kill emotional speed. Think in slow motion, you feel a rush. Anger, anxiety, hurt. It hits you all at once. And before your brain catches up, your mouth reacts. You say something sharp. You slam the door. You block someone. You regret it 5 minutes later. That's what emotional speed does. It robs you of the pause. It takes you from trigger to reaction without giving you a chance to think. But here's what Stoicism teaches. Make it your habit to consider that men do wrong involuntarily. Marcus Aurelius, slow down. Not just your words, but your judgment, your anger, your reaction time. When someone says something that stings, ask yourself, what if this doesn't need a reaction right now? What if I gave this 24 hours before saying anything? You don't need to respond to every emotion the moment it arrives. Your power lies in the delay. See, our minds are fast, but wisdom is slow. And if you want to be emotionally untouchable, you have to kill the speed that ruins your peace. Imagine this, someone insults you. You pause. You don't speak. You breathe. Walk away, think it through. By the time you decide how to respond, you realize you don't even care anymore. That's growth. Emotion makes things feel urgent. But urgency is the enemy of peace. What you feel in the first 10 seconds is often just noise. But if you wait, if you move in slow motion, you give your mind time to clean that noise up. You realize most things don't deserve a response. Most arguments are traps. Most emotions are just passing weather. And this doesn't mean you're weak. It means you're strategic. It means you're choosing your peace over your pride. Because real control is when you can feel fire rise in your chest and still speak like you're made of water. Let them be loud, let them throw shade. Let them rush. You move in silence. You speak after thinking. You react with purpose, not panic. That's emotional maturity, and that's what makes you untouchable. So next time your emotions rush in, don't meet them at the door. Let them wait, let them sit. Let them cool off. Then you decide what to do. On your terms, I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I slow down to stay in control. Cut off the need to explain yourself. Number 3, cut off the need to explain yourself. You feel misunderstood. You feel judged. And your first instinct, let me explain myself. Let me prove my side. Let me tell them I'm not what they think. But here's the thing. Stoicism doesn't require you to be understood. It requires you to be at peace with being misunderstood. Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one, Marcus Aurelius. You don't owe anyone a performance. Most people who demand explanations aren't listening to understand you. They're waiting for a weakness, and even if you give the perfect answer, they'll still twist it. That's why the habit of not explaining yourself is powerful. It doesn't mean you're avoiding honesty. It means you've learned to let your actions speak louder than your defenses. You don't explain your growth. You live it. You don't justify your silence. You protect it. You don't defend every choice. You own it. Because the truth is, if someone truly values you, they don't need an explanation. And if they don't value you, no explanation will ever be enough. So why burn your energy trying to win approval in a world that profits off your insecurity? People will create stories about you no matter what you say. Let them misunderstand. Let them assume. Let them whisper. And you keep growing. You keep healing. You keep walking. Every second you spend explaining yourself to someone who's already made up their mind is a second stolen from your peace. So say less, do more. Let your life be your response. That's not arrogance. That's self-respect. Because when you stop needing to explain yourself, you finally become free. Free from needing permission. Free from chasing approval. Free from being emotionally controlled by what people think. You know who you are. You know what you stand for. And you don't need an audience to feel real. So stop shrinking to make people feel comfortable. Stop translating your worth into words. Your peace doesn't need subtitles. Number 4. Build an inner wall they build an inner wall can't reach. You walk into a room and feel the energy shift. Someone rolls their eyes. Someone mocks your idea. You smile, but something inside you breaks. You go home thinking about it all night. That's because most people walk through life emotionally exposed, wide open, raw, vulnerable in the wrong ways. You might not show it, but deep inside, every look, every word, every rejection hits too hard. And that's not weakness, that's humanity. But here's what Stoicism offers. A wall, not one made of stone, but one made of inner boundaries. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength." In simple terms, they can say what they want, but they can't reach your center unless you open the door. So how do you build this inner wall? You decide that your peace is not up for public discussion. You stop outsourcing your self-worth to people who don't even respect themselves. You stop seeking emotional permission from people who don't care about your well-being. The wall is built in silence. It's built every time you don't respond to provocation. Every time you let someone's opinion slide off your soul like rain off a roof. Every time you say to yourself, "That doesn't belong to me." You don't have to harden your heart. You just have to protect your spirit. And no, this isn't about pretending things don't hurt. It's about choosing what gets access to your mental space. Because here's the truth. Your mind is sacred ground. Not everyone deserves entry. Not everyone deserves a reaction. Not everyone deserves the key to your emotions. So start practicing this. When someone tries to guilt trip you, imagine your wall. When someone gaslights you, feel the wall. When someone belittles you, let the wall absorb it so you don't have to. The world won't stop testing you. But that doesn't mean you have to keep bleeding. You get stronger every time you let nonsense pass by without absorbing it. You don't stop caring. You just stop collapsing. And the more you build that wall inside you, the more you become someone who cannot be broken from the outside. Let them talk. Let them judge. Let them poke. You've got a wall now, and it's built from peace, truth, and discipline. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I protect my peace behind invisible walls. Train for disrespect. Number 5. Train for disrespect like a soldier trains for war. No one tells you this, but if you want emotional control, you need to expect disrespect because it's coming from friends, from coworkers, from strangers online, even from people you've helped the most. And when it hits, you have 2 options. 1, be surprised, hurt, and reactive. 2, be trained, ready, and calm. Stoicism chooses the second. When you wake up in the morning, tell yourself, the people I deal with today will be arrogant, deceitful, envious, ungrateful. Marcus Aurelius. Why would he say something so negative? Because it's not negativity. It's emotional preparation. You don't prepare for peace. You prepare for war, so that when peace is broken, you don't break with it. You want to be untouchable. Expect the low blows. Expect to be misunderstood. Expect to be treated unfairly. Then when it happens, you won't flinch. You'll respond like a soldier who's already trained for this. Because here's the truth no one wants to hear. Disrespect is part of life. It's not personal. It's a test. And the ones who pass are not the loudest, not the towest. They're the calmest. You don't win by snapping back. You win by not being moved at all. Think of it like this. Someone throws a rock at you. You could throw it back. Or you could let it hit your armor and fall to the ground with no damage. Your armor is built from self-worth. From knowing your value doesn't decrease just because someone else can't see it. You don't have to shout to prove yourself. You don't have to explain that you deserve better. You just stand firm like a soldier in a storm. Every time someone disrespects you, train your response. Stay quiet, stay tall, stay centered. You'll notice something. People who can't shake you will either start respecting you or get frustrated and walk away. Either way, you win. And no, it won't always feel fair. But that's why you're training. Not for comfort, not for praise, but for mastery of self. That's what makes you emotionally untouchable. Number 6. Stop trying to feel better. Focus on thinking better. Focus on thinking better. You feel low. You're overwhelmed. Maybe you're anxious, heartbroken, or exhausted. So like most people, you search for relief, a distraction, a motivational video, a scroll through social media, a short-term fix that makes you feel better for a moment, but leaves you even more empty later. Why? Because you don't need to feel better. You need to think better. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. Marcus Aurelius. Emotions are not the enemy. But relying on emotion to feel. Okay, that's where we fall. The Stoics knew this well. Feelings are waves, but thought is the ship. You can't control every emotion that crashes into you, but you can train your thinking to keep you from drowning. That means instead of asking, why do I feel this way? Ask what thought created this feeling. Maybe you're angry because you expected more from someone. Maybe you're sad because you believe something would work out differently. In both cases, it's the thought that created the pain. So rather than numbing the emotion, change the mental filter behind it. The moment you shift from feeling focused to thought focused, you unlock emotional clarity. You stop chasing highs. You stop fearing lows. You become the observer of your mind, not the victim of it. Here's a practical Stoic move. When you feel an intense emotion, don't try to escape it. Don't try to fix it. Sit with it. Name the thought behind it. Then ask, is this thought wise or just loud? Most of our pain isn't caused by reality. It's caused by unexamined thoughts we never challenge. You don't need another emotional escape. You need mental discipline. Train yourself to think clearly and peace will follow naturally. Train yourself to think slowly and your anxiety will lose its grip. Train yourself to think deeply and your emotions will start working for you, not against you. Feelings are signals, but thinking is the steering wheel. So stop chasing the next thing that makes you feel better and start building the kind of mind that makes you be better. That's what Stoicism is all about. Music number 7. Don't attach meaning to don't attach meaning every feeling. You wake up with anxiety. You feel off, low, frustrated, and immediately you start to analyze it. What's wrong with me? Why am I feeling this way? Something bad must be about to happen. But here's the truth. No one tells you. Not every feeling needs to mean something. Some emotions are just passing energy, chemical changes, weather in your body. You don't always have to turn it into a story. Epictetus said, "It's not things that upset us, but our judgments about things." And the same applies to our emotions. We suffer more not because we feel too much, but because we overinterpret what we feel. You might be tired. You might be hungry. You might just be human. But instead your mind starts attaching meaning. I'm not doing enough. Something's wrong with me. I'm failing at life. That's not emotion. That's judgment stacked on emotion. The Stoic practice is simple. Observe but don't attach. You can feel sadness without calling yourself broken. You can feel anxiety without assuming doom. You can feel frustration without making it a moral flaw. Treat your emotions like clouds passing by. Notice them. Accept them. But don't label them. Because when you stop turning every feeling into a narrative, you gain freedom. You realize some feelings come without a reason and some feelings don't deserve a reaction. You're allowed to feel off and still be okay. That's not emotional numbness, that's emotional intelligence. You can say, I feel low today and that's okay. I don't know why I'm feeling this, but I'll let it pass. This doesn't define me. Detach from meaning and your emotions lose their power to drag you into chaos. This is how you build resilience. Not by being emotionless, but by refusing to let every emotion rewrite your identity. Let your feelings exist. Let them move through you. But don't hand them the pen to write your story. That's your job. You choose what defines you. And guess what? A passing feeling is never the whole truth. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. I feel emotions, but I don't let them define me. Silence and discomfort. Number 8. Expose yourself to silence and discomfort on purpose. Most people can't sit still. The moment silence arrives, they reach for noise, music, phones, social media, anything to fill the gap. But that gap is exactly where power grows. The truth is silence and discomfort are not enemies. They are training grounds. Epictetus said difficulties show a person's character. So when trouble comes, think of it as training. Think of this. You want to be emotionally unshakable, then you must intentionally step into spaces that most people run from. Here's why. When you practice sitting in silence, you become aware of your thoughts, your true thoughts, not just the ones buried under distractions. When you practice facing discomfort, be it hunger, loneliness, or rejection, you build a tolerance that no motivational quote can offer. Because here's the reality most ignore. Growth doesn't come from comfort. Peace doesn't come from escaping pain. It comes from walking into the fire without fear. Not to suffer, but to train. Spend 10 minutes a day in silence. No phone, no music, no distractions, just you and your breath. Your thoughts will scream at first, but over time they quiet down. And when they do, you'll hear clarity. Then practice discomfort. Take cold showers. Say no when you want to. People please it with cravings instead of feeding them. Speak the truth even when your voice shakes. These small acts rewire your brain. They say, I don't need comfort to feel safe. They teach you that discomfort won't destroy you. It finishes you. And once you're no longer afraid of silence or pain, you become untouchable because no one can manipulate you with loneliness, pressure, or chaos. You've already in it. That's what Stoics did. They practiced poverty, rejection, hunger, stillness, not because they were weak, but because they wanted to be ready. So practice being uncomfortable on purpose, not for show, not for punishment, but because every time you endure without panic, you build the emotional armor others only pretend to have. Study every emotional slip. Number 9. Study every emotional slip like a detective. You lose control. You say something out of anger, you spiral. What do you do afterward? Most people, they just feel guilty or worse, ignore it. But emotional mastery isn't about never slipping. It's about learning from every fall. Seneca said, a gem cannot be polished without friction, nor a man perfected without trials. So when your emotions take over, study it. Become a detective of your own mind. Ask, what triggered me? What belief did I hold in that moment? What could I have done differently? Treat each emotional outburst not as failure but as data. Because every time you react, you're being shown a part of yourself that still needs attention, still needs growth. Let's say someone said something disrespectful and you exploded. Instead of justifying it, study it. Maybe your emotional trigger wasn't their words. Maybe it was the belief that you're not respected unless you respond. That's not their fault. That's your inner work. This is the habit that creates real change. Every reaction becomes a lesson. Every mistake becomes a message, and you must write it down. Yes, actually journal it. When you review your emotional patterns like a detective, you'll see exactly what environments throw you off, what people trigger you most, what thoughts cause chaos inside your mind. Awareness is power because what you understand you can transform, and soon you'll start catching yourself before the reaction. You'll feel the emotion rise, but instead of becoming it, you'll observe it. You'll say, oh, this again, and then breathe, pause, redirect. That's how Stoicism works. It's not about perfection, it's about progress with precision. You don't become untouchable by ignoring your emotions. You become untouchable by understanding them better than anyone else ever will. So stop judging yourself for slipping and start studying your patterns like your life depends on it. Because your peace does. I want you to drop this affirmation in the comments. Every reaction is my roadmap to greater control. In a world that thrives on chaos, rage, and noise, calm is a rebellion. It's a quiet revolution that happens inside you. You've now learned 9 Stoic habits that, if practiced daily, won't just protect your peace. They'll transform you not into someone emotionless, but into someone powerful. Because you'll stop being pulled by every trigger. You'll stop handing your emotions to people who don't deserve them. You'll stop collapsing every time life gets loud. Instead, you'll move with stillness. You'll respond with wisdom. You'll carry silence like a sword, and people will notice. They'll wonder why they can't provoke you. They'll be unsettled by how peaceful you are. They'll feel something they don't expect to feel from calm people. Intimidation, that's the power of inner peace. It doesn't scream. It doesn't beg. It simply is. You don't need to dominate others. You need to master yourself. And when you do, you'll become the most dangerous kind of person. The one who feels deeply but is ruled by reason. The one who walks through storms with dry feet. The one who never reacts, only responds. Let the world chase attention, you choose discipline. Let the world fall apart. You stay whole. This is your new way of life. Like, comment, and share with someone who needs this, and subscribe to the channel. I want you to drop this final affirmation in the comments. My calm is my power. Music.